moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. And family, this is the same sequence that's happening today in today's times. The nations raised because of the crazy leadership. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice and the earth melted. Praise the Most High. Just like we were saying before about having a mouth to speak boldly. See, this is our part, family. We're to be his eyes, his ears, and his mouthpiece here on this earth. We're to proclaim the matter at the time that he says proclaim it, and he'll bring it to pass. Not whenever we just feel like, I proclaim this, that, and the other, just because I willy-nilly feel like it. No. As this text says, the Most High is with us. The Elohim of Yaakov is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Most High, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cut the spear in two. He burns the chariot in fire. How does he make wars end, family? By entering the war. By him coming into the war, he said, okay, this is enough. Just like he said, to make set the chariots on fire. And all it takes on our part is to open our mouths. He breaks the bow and cut the spirit in two. All the pum-pums and the boom-booms, all that's irrelevant. Like we said, they surround us, but the Most High surrounds them. He makes wars to cease to the end of the earth. Praise the Most High. We right on time. He breaks the bow and cut the spirit in two. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am the Most High. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Most High of hosts is with us. The Elohim of Yaakov is our refuge, Salah. He with us means that we have our part to play also. Just as we spoke about Elijah and his servant prior, we said having a mouth to speak boldly is the most important part. Most of the time we won't have the eyes to see, nor the ears to hear, nor the heart to perceive, yet we are to speak boldly what we are instructed by our Commander-in-Chief, Yahuwah Sabaoth. Speaking of, let's look quickly at Mark 11:10 through 25. Blessed is the kingdom of our father Dawid that comes in the name of the Most High. Hosanna in the highest. And Yahushua went into Jerusalem and into the temple. And when he had looked around at all things, as the hour was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. Oh, I wanted to make sure we saw that. So when he had looked around at all things, he went into the temple and he looked around at all things. Remember that one. Family, we mentioned this because, of course, we know that Yahushua saw what was going on the night before. He saw that they was selling and trading in the temple the night before. But what he did is what we all need to do as an example. He showed us how to take it to the Father in prayer overnight before he acted. That reminds me of the script he gave me yesterday and how he wanted me to ponder over it before we delivered it today. Not being fast and doing something yesterday with it when we received it. I'm sure the Most High told him, you see this hot mess? Now the next day when he had come out from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing from afar a fig tree having leaves, he went to see if perhaps he would find something on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. Once again, he was hungry, so he saw this fig tree, so he went to the fig tree to see if he could find something to quench his hunger or to satisfy his hunger. But he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. Family, let's speak on that real quick. Now, we noticed that they gave you a little bit ahead of time when he went into the temple and looked around and saw all things, saw everything. And then it jumps right to the story about the fig tree and about it having leaves but no fruit. Oh boy, I'm not gonna give it away. I just had to add that little bit in there.
I lied, because we see the same thing in today's church with these preachers and teachers that come dressed in sheep's clothing, but they're inside they're wolves, lying to the people. But this is who the Most High is talking about in this case. With the fig tree, they look like they have some kind of fruit, but they ain't in season yet. They never will be, simply because they're of their father Hasatan.
In response, Yahushua said to it, "Let no one eat fruit from you ever again." And his disciples heard it. So they came to Jerusalem. Then Yahushua went into the temple and began to drive out those who bought and sold in the temple, and overturned the tables of the money chargers and the seats of those who sold doves. And he would not allow anyone to carry wares through the temple. Then he taught, saying to them, "Is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations? But you have made it a den of thieves." And the scribes and the chief priests heard it and saw how they might destroy him. For they feared him, because all the people were astonished at his teachings, because he was pointing them out as the ones with the leaves, the outerwear, but no fruit in them. When evening had come, he went out the city. Now in the morning as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, remembering, said to him, "Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you curse has withered away." So Yahushua answered and said to them, "Have faith in the Most High. For surely I say to you, whoever says to this mountain," how he go from a tree to a mountain? Talking in code again. "Whoever says to this individual in high places, or this government in high places, or this group of people in high places, or supposedly in high places, be removed and cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe you receive them, and you will have them." Hallelujah. And we looked at Matthew 17:20. So Yahushua said to them, "Because of your unbelief, for surely I say to you, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will be moved, and nothing will be impossible to you or for you." Praise the Most High. What an absolutely marvelous idea. And as I said, I started off by thinking about the Kenyan president who ordered the demonstrators to be shot and killed. Because that's who ultimately has the power to say, "Well, we call down that puppet and cast into the sea." We call down his whole mountain, his whole rule, his whole government, all the way up from the president all the way down to the police on the streets, all the teachers, all the preachers, not only in his government, but all the governments on the face of this earth. We call them down today. All the strongholds are torn down today. And we're going to start seeing the evidence of it. And like I said, from the president on down to the teachers, the preachers, the police on the streets, everybody in these mountains of these governments, of these high places, these strongholds that's been over the Most High's people. And we thank him for setting up people that loves their people and that has the heart of the Most High.